All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria. I am Director of Operations at Punchpass, and I'm so happy to talk about one of our big launches from this past week, which is 4 new automations that we have to offer with Punchpass. These are great opportunities to communicate with customers, to do some nice things for them, and hopefully ensure that you get people coming back, you get people actually coming into your studio through some marketing automations here. So the nice thing is all of these are really built to be really customizable, so you can use them in a bunch of different ways, and you can communicate with your own sort of branding and personal touch. We launched quite a few automations. I'll talk about some of the older ones at the end, but we're really today focusing on what they can do for you and these 4 new automations that we've launched. So we're going to talk through what automations are and how they work. And then we're going to talk through our 3 new email automations, as well as our new pass automation. And then we're going to build them. So we're going to go into the actual system and set some up. And that is really what we're covering today. If you do have questions at any point, feel free to reach out in the chat, and happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, go ahead and get into it. So what exactly are automations? These are workflows that you design. So when a customer does a certain thing or perhaps doesn't do a certain thing, and that is going to trigger the workflow. It's going to automatically initiate the automation that we've designed. So it could be an email or a pass. Those are kind of the 2 big ones that we're focusing on today, where a customer action or inaction prompts an email, or something about them prompts a pass to be assigned. And again, we have a lot of them now, but let's talk a little bit about what you get access to. So depending on your Punchpass plan, you may be able to build a certain number of automations. So currently on our Willow plan, you get access to 3 automations. On Banyan, you get 10. And on Redwood, there is no limit to how many automations you want to build. Now, that doesn't mean that you only get access to certain automations. It just means that of all the automations we have, on Willow, you can build 3 of them. On Banyan, you can do 10, and Redwood, you can make as many as you like. The other thing about the automations is some of them you can make multiple times. So for instance, I might set up an automation and I might want to set that particular automation up in a couple different situations. So it might be a scenario where you have multiple automation types, but you're really only using one. We'll get into it as we get live. But I really want to focus on the new ones because I'm so excited about what we have to offer here. So first, we're going to get into our 3 new email automations. The first one that can be so key is our inactive new customer email. So when you have a new customer, whether it's they create an account or you add them to the system. So for instance, if you're collecting contact information outside of Punchpass, and then you're going to add those customers to Punchpass, like through a mailing list, that would also trigger an account getting created. And when an account gets created, we also have an automation called welcome email, so they can get that message. But this one is after the set number of days that you pick, they have not done anything. They don't buy anything, they don't make a reservation, you don't end up marking them attendance like they dropped into something. We'd consider that inactive. They haven't done anything other than set up an account. Then if they haven't done anything in that number of days, they'll receive this customized email template that you'll set up. This opportunity is to really like communicate and kind of make someone who is maybe interested, they signed up, or you kind of have their information, you want to push them to the next step. And so this custom email, you can include a lot of different things. Links, so directly to your schedule, to your website, to your email address or something, the ways you might want them to contact you. Normally we'd use this opportunity to encourage them to sign up, so trying to get them to book a class or purchase a pass. You can provide them your information. So if there's, hey, this is how you should get into contact me, or we'd love to chat, to kind of help get them through to the purchase side of things and to the becoming a customer side of things. That could be an option. You could consider offering some kind of discount, like a discounted pass rate, or promoting your new customer deal, whatever you might be offering, a discount code. Any of those things could be an opportunity to kind of push them into they're now really a customer. They're not just someone who kind of just put their name in and that was about it. We want to get them into the taking a class portion, the purchasing a pass portion of their customer journey. So the idea is that we're taking this opportunity to communicate with them and hopefully get them to actually make their first step. So that one's definitely got potential to help kind of translate leads into actual customers. And then we have kind of I would call the next two sort of the getting them back email automations. So we have the expired pass reminder, which is a little bit of a misnomer. There's just not really one word that covers all of the scenarios here. But if a pass expires, or if a punch card is filled, right? So if you have an expiration on the pass, that might be one way that triggers this email. Or if it's a punch card, they purchased a 5-pack and they've just finished their 5th class, so the pass is out. Or if you have memberships that have, an end date, like they end on this, membership finishes. It's not like sort of set to renew until canceled. There is an end date there. Then this customized email template will be sent out. So now this is like the immediate, as soon as the pass ends, as soon as that membership ends, as soon as that punch card is filled, automatically they will get this expired pass notification. And it's fully customizable, so you can adjust some of the language there. I tend to use things like your pass has ended is kind of like maybe the easier way to say that. But basically, this is the opportunity to get them to purchase again. How do we get them to keep going in their customer journey and be a regular and stick with it and buy again? So one way to do that is you can set this reminder up for multiple different pass types. So if you'd like to set it up for, this pass and this pass and this pass, you could send them directly to link to the exact same pass that they purchased. You could also send them a link directly to your full purchase a pass page so they can see everything and pick their own pass. They'll pick something different than what they purchased before. This is also a really good opportunity if you're using one of our sort of special rate passes where you could set up a pass that you don't make available to everyone, but you make it available to certain people. Maybe you have a special rate for, veterans or teachers. That might be where you could really use this because they can only purchase that pass if they have the special link. So this would be a way to get them the special link again, make it really easy for them to repurchase. But basically, this is the goal, is getting someone who their pass is finished, their membership is over, get a new one. And that is the immediate option. The next one, which I think is also a great way, is come back. So instead of the immediacy option, this one is after X number of days that you get to select and they have not purchased again. Now we get to send them another one. I realize a little bit of the incorrect details on this slide. I'm so sorry about that. But I am about to show us the pass automations live, but just a little bit more information about this expired pass one. The idea is that very similarly to this, but it's been a little bit longer. So it's not as soon as a pass ends, it's, hey, your pass, it's been a week or 2 weeks, or, depending on how urgent you want to make this, sending it back to them and saying, we want you to come back. We want you to make a new purchase. And this could be, again, an opportunity to offer a special deal, a discount if you're looking for that. Again, depends on how many days out you want to set this. But it is another way to kind of, again, really encourage people to come on back. So we just have one more automation to talk through before we get into building these. So I do want to talk through that because I think it's kind of a fun one. But this is a past automation, although sneakily there's also an email involved. So this is the birthday assigned pass. So if it's a customer's birthday, this automation means it'll automatically assign them a pass and send them your custom email template. So this is a great situation where we're going to go ahead and take a look at this now in our automations. This is a situation where you might have your customers and on their birthday, you want to send them a special pass. They get a discounted rate or they get, a free class. It's kind of a nice opportunity if you'd like. So if people enter their birthdays when they're signing up with Punchpass and you have their birthdays on file, they could get something special for that. And it's a great way to just kind of a little customer attention, make them feel good, treat them like VIPs because they're very important to your business. So from your Punchpass page, let's go from our home page here. From the home page, under Manage Settings, got lots of options here, but we're really focusing on our automations today. So I have a few set up, some of our older ones. If you take a look down at your available templates, we now have quite a good selection of automations you can set up. But I wanted to talk through each one we discussed so we can make sure we have a good sense of what they can do. So the first one I wanted to talk about is that inactive new customer automation. So this is where they set up an account, they haven't done anything, they haven't booked a class, they haven't purchased a pass. Let's get them in. Let's really kind of encourage them to come to class or buy something. So we always on the automation page tell you kind of what the steps are. So here we're going to set up the email template first, and then we're going to kind of name it and finish it out because really you do want to have a name for the automation so we keep those kind of unique. You can, if you haven't set one up similarly, we could do that. We could say email here, but we're setting up the template. And what you'll notice is that there are default fields here, or there's default text already set up for you. So if you would like, you can customize this and edit this and change this. The defaults also work, but if you're like, I really want to edit this and make it sound like it's coming from me and use kind of language that you like, please feel free to go for it. So I might, maybe I'm more of a hi person than a hey person, not a problem. You'll notice we have some variables built into this, and these are over here on this end. So for instance, we have company variables, which are your company. So your email, your website, your phone number. Basically, it's just an easy way to say like, ooh, I want to grab my schedule and I want to send that to them. So, maybe I want to, direct them there instead. So maybe instead of directing them to the website, we could say, please check out our schedule. And now you can always, our schedule, you could always say like here, and there will be the link. So if you want them to see the link, that's an option. You can also do a hyperlink of the full variable, insert, and that will also work for your email setup. So again, you play around with this, enter anything you'd like, anything that you think is going to help for these customers who maybe signed up but haven't taken the next step. We'll go ahead and click save and continue. And the last thing is we'll give it a name. You can set it to enabled or pause. So pause just means, you're maybe setting it up, but you're not quite sure it's ready, or you want someone else to look at it before you set it to be live. You can set it to pause so it's at least saved, but otherwise we'll set it to be enabled. And then here's the big thing is how many days after they've signed up do we send this email? So kind of up to you. Are you like we want to get them in right away. They just signed up and they didn't do anything. Let's send it maybe a day after they didn't do anything, 2 days. You can kind of decide how soon in the process feels good to you. I'm going to throw 3 on there. But it is really, again, it's a bit of a personal selection here. Everyone's a little bit different. How quickly do we want to, message them and really try to get them in is really up to you. So you can set the number of days, and when you feel good about it, we'll go ahead and click save. And now I have that automation set up on my account. So we can go through and you can add, again, depending on your plan, 3, 10, unlimited automations here. But some of those we can't set up more than once. So for instance, an active new customer, we've set it up, it's all set. But some of these we can set up a couple different ones. I'd love to get into these ones because I think they're so powerful. We have our expired pass reminder. So this is one immediately once their pass ends, they get a notification. So we might want to use, has ended, or, depending on your pass. If you don't have expirations, like you might want to say your pass is full because they'd be getting this only when the punch card runs out. If you want to use a slash, that's totally fine too. If you don't want to, if you don't want to be specific here, you can make it a little bit more general. It's really up to you in terms of setting up your email one. One thing I will say, because I set this up with somebody yesterday, it was really fun. Sometimes, I'm just going to open up this in a new tab. This, the default, if you want to see the default, is going to your public passes page. So that's the one that's set up here. But sometimes we might want to direct somebody to a very specific pass. For instance, if I'm only setting this up for my 10 class pass, like that's the one I'm setting up right now, maybe I want to directly link them to that pass instead of the full passes page. So I can copy the link to that specific pass. Maybe I'm saying like, your 10 class pass is full and expired. And then instead of that link going to my full purchase page, I'm going to send it to that very specific pass. So maybe I just, hey, these people always purchase the same pass. It's kind of more common for certain types of passes. We can do that. And then once I save it, oh, I've already set this one up before. That's on me. There we go. We do want to keep the email templates uniquely named. That way we don't run into any issues. So set this up. And so the big thing here is you could set this up and be like, hey, I made it general enough so it works for all my passes or memberships. Or I could set it up like I just did, where it's really for this one specific pass. So you've got a lot of options here in terms of how you want to do it. Maybe you're like, oh gosh, that really works for, I'll set one up for my punch cards. But I might set up a different one for maybe a personal training pass, or a workshop event or something that ended. Something like that could also be part of the process. But I just did this pretty specifically for the 10 class pass. So that's how I'm going to set it up. And at the very end, we just want to click Save Automation so we can set it up. So that is an example of one where I could set this up multiple times for different pass types. Similarly, we can do very same thing, little different with our comeback expired pass automation. This is not immediate, right? This is after a certain number of days is when they're going to get this notification. So we'll set up the email first because that's how we like to do things. And this could be, and maybe we're doing a very similar thing. Maybe we're being very specific. Maybe we're doing this for our 10 class pass again. Again, doesn't have to be very specific. You can apply it to a bunch of different things. Just really up to you on how you want to promote this. So, just kind of ways to get back. One thing you could be doing is, coming up with other things you might want to include. Maybe some reminders, maybe something specific like, something about the classes that you offer, maybe encouraging them to check something out, things that you're looking to promote and get people into. Again, we could direct them to the full purchase page. We can direct them to a very specific purchase link. Whatever you like, whatever you think is going to entice people to come back and make a new purchase, that's going to be setting up with this email. Once we do this, we'll set up our automation. Again, we get to set up in this scenario how many days. So their pass ended. How many days after they haven't purchased do we want to send them an email? I would say this might depend on whether you have the expired pass email when it goes immediately. If you have that set up. I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer to send them this reminder and be like, hey, you forgot. But if you don't have the immediate one set up, maybe you're like, hey, maybe the day after I want them to get that message, or 3 days after, or 7, here because I have the other one set up, maybe I'll message them in a week. And I'll say, okay, pass ended, we'll give them a little time. After a week, we should check back in. So again, we get to say, which passes does this apply to? It could be everything, could be just certain things, very much up to you, but you get to select those and click save. Get that all set up. The last one that we've added that's new is our birthday assigned pass. And this one's kind of fun because it is a assigned pass, but we do also include an email template, just to make sure they know that you've given them a gift, right? For a birthday assigned pass, this would be something where, if you're giving someone a free class on their birthday, this would be something you could offer. So, we can set that up. We've added emojis. Feel free to copy and paste emojis into here. If you're an emoji person, then it's going to look even more like a direct communication from you. So for instance, in this message, we're saying like, happy birthday, wishing you the best. And also you're getting a free pass, you might want to give more information about the pass, maybe it expires in a week. So that it's kind of encourages them to get in and use it. Or it could be like for the month. That's pretty popular, but your pass settings are your pass settings. So you'd adjust that before you set up this automation. But we'll go ahead and click save and say birthday pass. Make it enabled, and then you get to select the pass. So for instance, we're going to use my free pass because that way they just get a free pass. Now you might want to, when you're setting up your pass for your special birthday, you might want to set this up specifically. They pass one free class on us. That'll be kind of nice. You don't have to set it to sell online. Set it 1, we'll make it 0 price, make life easy. And then you can absolutely set the expiration. So maybe they have 30 days to use it. If you're dealing with something that's like a 1 credit and you are setting an automation, I definitely recommend adjusting this to say when it's assigned to them, as opposed to first use. First use is when they use it. And if it's just 1 credit, that'll be the one time they use it. So I highly recommend that. You could always send them a reminder, give them a heads up before it expires. And also with your, the free birthday pass, you might say, hey, this only works for certain classes. And that's it. So then when you select it from the drop down, whichever one you're offering, um, you know, um, when you set that up, it will apply as they get assigned that pass on their birthday. So pretty simple. The system is built to walk you through it. If you do have questions about setting these automations, or you're not sure, or you set it up and you're like, can someone look at this for me? Please reach out in the chat. We are happy to look over these automations for you. It's easy for us to take a look and make sure we understand what you're looking for, can run through it and take a look at it. But these are definitely an opportunity to get a little bit more custom with your marketing in Punchpass. And we also, in addition to the 4 automations we've covered today, we have quite a few other ones. Sorry about that. We have quite a few other ones that you still have access to. So maybe those 4 that we discussed aren't ones that appeal to you. Got a lot of other ones available. I mentioned the welcome email. And that's like a really great one when people sign up, just to kind of give them the information you want them to know as they're signing up and checking you out. We have the new customer assigned pass, kind of like the birthday one, but it's really for like, hey, if you want your first class free, like a trial with us, easy one to set up. We do have a birthday email. So if you're like, we do not want to give people a free class on their birthday, that's not something we want to do, but you do want to acknowledge their birthday and at least have like a little personal moment with your customer, the birthday email automation is great. Past purchase, but no activity email. So that's a similar one where we're like, you haven't done anything yet. Hey, maybe you bought a pass, but you haven't booked a class, you haven't attended anything, and we just want to encourage you to come back so you don't have those passes kind of sitting there. We really want people to start using them so then they can buy more. And so that one's a great one to get people back in. If you have special details people should know based on the type of pass they purchase or the type of class they book, we've got 2 automations that send email after purchase and send email after booking that you can set up to make sure that very important information about that particular pass or membership or that particular class or workshop or series, you might want to set up some special email automations there. And then we also have a signed bonus pass. So for instance, if someone purchases one pass and then you automatically assign them another one, that's kind of a nice workaround for credit-based passes. For instance, if you offer, say, a 5 class, or I should say, it's a really good way to work with like eligibility. So for instance, if you like, oh, I want to get this pass and it gives me access to all of these classes. And this pass is like, oh, I get all of these other classes, but maybe I should also get like one of this special class. Like someone might have a like unlimited month pass. And then, but they also get one private session. It's kind of hard to do that with like one pass. We want to have 2 passes there so that they can get group classes and one private session. So that would be a great way to do like a little bonus pass. They purchase this one, they auto get this one. So it's like kind of a quick overview of all of them. We have full write-ups on how to set up every single automation in the Help Center. And they're, and if you have questions, we can always chat in our chat, or we could book a consult so we can talk you through it in your account and help you set them up. I've done that with a couple clients, a couple studios using Punchpass this week, and it's been really fun setting them up together. So if you want a helping hand, our team is available. And a little bit about what's next. So we just launched these and we're really excited about these. There are a couple more on my personal list of things I'd love to see with automations, but especially, as we've added some more and we're filling some gaps here, we'd love to hear from people like you who are using Punchpass and who are using, kind of promoting things and working in your studio and trying to make things work. If there is something in particular you could imagine, like, hey, when someone does this or doesn't do this, could we prompt an email? Could we prompt something to happen? That would be great. We'd love more feedback. We'd love to hear more about what you think could be our next automation. So at this point, we're really looking for what people in our Punchpass community are looking to do and would like to, kind of maybe some problems you think could be solved through the automation feature. We're not, we're going to keep building more. We definitely have a couple that I'd like to see. But any feedback or any ideas on your end would be awesome. Please feel free to let us know. And now if there are any questions, if you could reach out in the chat and let me know, take questions. I'll also let you know if you forget or you need to chat with us at another time. When you are in your Punchpass account from the home screen, you'll see our chat box here. You can reach out and say hi, ask us questions, let us know if there's any feedback on some automations you'd like to see. So if you don't have a question right now, that is so fine because we can take questions anytime. All right, well, don't see any questions. Got a small crew today. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us, whether you're live with us now or you're watching the recording. I hope you learned something new about Punchpass, about our automations, maybe have some ideas about how you can make it work at your studio, or you have some feedback for us and you have some ideas about what else you'd like to see from our team when it comes to automations. Please let us know. We'd love to hear all about it. And thank you so much for joining. Hope you have a great rest of your day.